Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to LSRTV on iRacing Live for the 6th round of the 2016 ASCORS ProGeek Consulted Cup Series from the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway. iRacing's best are set to roll for 200 laps and 100 miles around the Martinsville Speedway. Coming to you next for the ProGeek Cup Virginia 200. We're happy to have you with us right here on the voice of sim racing. Myself, Evan Pasoko, alongside Andy Kessler and Justin Rose now topside in the LSRTV broadcast tower. And as always, LSRTV's producer Cisco Scaramuza downstairs, twisted and tweaking and aisles, getting us to you here this evening on Sunday, April the 3rd. And Andy, we're excited for this one. 5 races down, we come to round number 6. Tonight also marks the halfway point in the Season 1 campaign at 12 races in 2016. But I think we're more so excited because it's Martinsville, and we saw this track a couple of days ago right here on LSRTV for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, guys. We're in for a treat because it doesn't matter what car you toss onto this track on the sim, fireworks are always guaranteed to fly.
Oh, most definitely. And what we also saw, too, was that the tires didn't give up that much. We saw those guys run somewhere around the 80 lap mark on a set of tires and still be able to maintain up front. So track position is going to be key, and I don't think we'll be seeing these guys too much on pit road. If they're out there only for a couple 10 laps or so, we get a caution. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of guys stay out. You might see some guys in the back coming down in pit, but we're in for a good one. Martinsville always puts on a good show, and then when you throw all these top guys in iRacing on the same server here in the ASCORS ProGeek Consulting Cup Series, you always get a lot of action and a lot of good driving too. So I expect some long green flag runs here tonight. Not so sure we'll see a green flag pit stop, but I'm definitely we're in for a long good street here tonight.
The big names are out at full force as they are every week. The Clampetts, the Busas, the Klickermans and company, Gorlinski, Monteferranti, Blackford, and many more. But the name that really everybody has been talking about so far in 2016, and for good reason, has been the driver at the top of the championship standings, at Ray Alfalla. It might just take a driver like Ray Alfalla to have to come to a track like this to kind of break up his mojo. You take a look at the championship standings. He is 61 points ahead through 5 championship races, and he's been to victory lane 4 times in all 5 races this year. He's the only driver inside the top 10 with the trip to victory lane, but Justin, the numbers not there quite yet for him. He's quite down the field, 13th right now in Q, a pickup from P16 into practice. This is a racetrack that doesn't necessarily promise that the fastest driver goes to victory lane, because if you don't like somebody, you can get him up and move him out of the way, and I can promise you that everybody else is tired of seeing Ray Alfalla go to victory lane.
Yeah, but, in order for everybody to do that, they must first finish. And Ray Falla, multi-time NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion, he's not going to get that done by tearing up his car. So even though he is qualified mid-pack, and that is going to be a item of concern, give or take, for the multi-time champion in Alfalla. But as far as that goes, yeah, he's got a long road to hoe from being mid-pack, but he's smart enough. He can certainly take care of his equipment. And if you're there at the end, especially in the last 45 to 50 laps, he can certainly get it done and put himself again in victory lane. He's proven that he's done it before here in this series, multi times. So as far as that goes, Evan, I'm looking for great things out of him. He can certainly get it done from that 13th starting spot.
And ASCORS coming back to life here in 2016 on iRacing, but he doesn't have the most all-time wins secured. He's got 4 trips to victory lane. Logan Clampett also has 4, and he's been much faster than Ray has been so far tonight. So for the driver that picked up his 18th career NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series win just 1 week ago, he wants to take over sole possession to the top spot on the ASCORS lineup, and he can do that tonight, but it's not going to be easy. 200 grueling laps at this half-mile speedway. It's flat, it's physical, it's going to be a fun night, at least for us topside. So with that qualified about draws to a close, we toss things down trackside for tonight's opening ceremonies and down with Jaded Berkey for the performance of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And back live at the Martinsville Speedway. Qualifying done. Let's take a look trackside at your ProGeek consulted starting grid here at Martinsville Speedway. Logan Clampett, 4 career wins in the ASCORS series, but none yet on Monday night as he searches for his first trip to victory lane on the Cup side of things. He'll start in the best possible spot to do so. That's going to be P1 up at the front of the field. The 19753 going to take him off the grid, P1, joined on the front row as well by fellow NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series competitor Matt Busa. Austin Jones will roll from 3rd tonight with Joseph Galota starting 4th. P5, Justin Weaver. P6 for Tyler Dalton. Mitchell Hunt and Adam Benefield will roll from P7 and P8 with Byron Daly and Justin Fuller rounding through row number 5.
Starting in the number 36 car in 11th spot, that's Bentley Glazer. Michael Conti did a qualifying lap here. He'll run in the 12th spot. 13th is Ray Alfala. Trey Edson will start 14th. 15th goes to the 07 of Parker Kligerman. E.J. O'Rourke will roll off in the 16th spot. Row number 9 will be Brad Patton to the inside with John Gorlinski to his outside. Then row number 10, you got Alan Lewis and Chase Cabry.
Row 11, you'll find the 97 Alex Monteferrante starting 21st, 22nd to the 37 of Brian Blackford. Row 12, 23rd to the 90 of Greg Spears. 91, Doy Woods starts 24th. Row 13, 25th, 89 of Matthew Quick. 69 of Corbin Hemstreet will start 26th. Row 14, 27th with 6 of Brad Newman. The 20 of Chad Coleman. 29th, 21 of RJ Williams. The 52 of Matthew Chafe starts 30th.
And in around out the field, 31st going to go to Matthew Boos, Scott Benton in 32nd. 33rd is Josh Parker. Jesse Kovacs will start P34. Those round out all of the drivers that take a qualifying time tonight. Jory Lopez Jr. will roll from P35. First driver on a provisional, your winner from round number 4 at Phoenix International Raceway. Behind him, the number 8, that's Adam Gilliland, P36, and John Wilco going to round out the field in P37. The lights on top of the pace car go off this time through. Let's take a look at what we're going to be expecting tonight here at Martinsville Speedway. Andy, it's known as the paperclip, just half a mile in length, only 12 degrees of banking, but it sure doesn't feel like that much.
No, it doesn't. It feels really flat, and it reminds you of maybe a New Hampshire Motor Speedway where it's real flat through the corners as well, just obviously double the length. So it's a short track. It's a half a mile, and these guys getting set to get it done.
Pace Car Ducks Trackside, happy to have you with us right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Logan Clampett gonna get the foot to the ground first. Green flag in the air from Martinsville. We are underway for round number 6 on the 2016 ASCORS ProGeek Consulting Cup Series, and we're underway down the back straightaway side-by-side challenge. Matt Busa, he looks like he was gonna dive in line. He'll stay to the top side now down to turn number 3. Clampett though powering off for turn 4. He'll lead lap number 1.
That's a good job leading that first lap right there. And actually the top 4 or 5 guys now will get single file. First one outside, Tyler Dalton on that outside lane, and he's battling right now with Mitchell Hunt. That is a battle for around that 7th spot on the racetrack. So the top 5, 6 cars now have been able to single file it out and figure out who's going where, but Tyler Dalton still stuck on the outside. He's losing positions.
He doesn't want to go from P2 to P15 like Matt Kenseth, but he's having about equal problems getting down to the inside lane. You got that 83 of Benefield. He'll get clear this time down the back stretch, and again right in tow, the number 51 of Justin Fuller. He knows a thing or two about finding success here on the sim, but right here on LSRTV, the NOS Energy Toyota. He'll take that spot away. Looked like there was a spot in line. Look at the 5, though. We talked about Michael Conti actually qualifying tonight. Started P12. He dove it in hard to turn number 1, forcing that Haviland Chevrolet to stay up at the outside of the racetrack, and they continue to do battles side by side and door to door, and really just a revolving door on the inside of the racetrack. Conti gets by. Trey Edson, the next driver to come up. So no help right now. Tyler Dalton started P6. He's already fallen now to 11th. Make it 12th as the 1 car gets by.
Battle shaping up for the top spot. The 34, Matt Busa, looking to the inside out of turn number 4 this time. He's looking to the inside of the 44, Logan Clampett. Clampett again gets a good drive off the corner. I just seen a little bit of peak there last time by through turns 1 and 2. Matt Busa right there knocking on the doorstep as he's trying to beat down the back deck lid of Logan Clampett as they enter turns 3 and 4.
In P1 and 2, they try to pull a little bit of a gap back to Austin Jones, who runs in 3rd. No changes through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's Galota Weaver 4th and 5th at the moment. First change for position, highest change for position. Mitchell Hunt, who started 7th, is now up to P6, and your 6th place starter rather, taking over that position is the number 19, Tyler Dalton, that we've been talking about. He finally found a spot in line. Bad news, it's P14. That's the struggle of finding yourself on the outside, especially for a restart, but especially at the drop of a green flag when you had about 17 rows of cars to have to fight through. But he finally found a spot in line. He stops the bleeding. You got to go right back on the attack, though, if you want to find yourself chipping away back towards the front of the field. And in fact, everybody inside, at least the top 15, single file for a moment, playing nice back in the pack. 88 of Alan Lewis. He'll go to the inside on the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke. So that Gary Mercer trucking Chevy going to be forced to the outside lane. And now the 41, same struggle. The outside, it can be a viable line to maybe try to defend a position later on. I'm certainly not going to predict that to be a passing lane tonight. But so far so early, especially with no rubber up there, the outside almost a death sentence. But caution flag will fly just 9 laps in to the Virginia 200, and its problems down the back straightaway. Scott Minton, Brad Newman, and Corbin Himstreet involved. The 69 heavily damaged.
There's a lot of damage on that 69 machine. They obviously making some contact coming off turn number 2 and then down the back straightaway, and it just looked like they the 69 of Corbin Himstreet got into the wall, and that's where it all came to fruition from there. Coleman in the 20 with some damage as well, but the 6 and the 50 as well. Scott Mitton mentioned all those guys with some heavy damage. So already about 5, 6 cars involved in that one here on the opening caution.
Yeah, they all scattered, trying to avoid the number 20 TimsCorner.ca entry of Chad Coleman, who got way loose coming off of the corner. He'll get some damage, but definitely the guys behind get the much worse end of that one. The number 8 machine makes quite a move, sneak it on through. Leaders down pit side this time. Not everybody, though, agrees that pit service is required. Justin Fuller, Ray Alfala will stay out at the front of the field, but your race leader at the time of caution, Logan Clampett, he's into the number 1 stall.
Right side tire's going to go up on that machine. Could be a 2-tire stop being this early, but then again, these guys might want to take fresh rubber for the long haul. One driver taking 2 tires coming off of pit 1. That'll be the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. Everybody else 4 tires down and away off of pit road. The 34 of Matt Busa going to beat everybody off of pit road.
Pit road interesting here at Martinsville. It's got that curve on the inside of turns 1 and 2, but still I'd say the number 1 pit stall, the place to be. It wasn't enough for Logan Clampett to be able to hold on to the best spot on 4 tires because Matt Busa faster in and faster out. So the Gale Force Sim Racing Toyota, he'll win the race off at a pit lane with 4 tired service. It'll put him up to P5. All of that behind the number 71 Mitchell Hunt, the 80 John Gorlinski out in P3, and then as I mentioned, Justin Fuller and Ray Alfala. Andy, interesting call to stay out early. Very young into the opening run with the number 51 and the 27, so it's not maybe a huge gamble per se. These guys, I'm sure they have the speed to make it work up front, but it's the first little bit of strategy we've seen tonight.
Yeah, it's just basically getting his track position back. Ray Alfala not qualifying where, typically he would have wanted to up in the top 5, but with this strategy, this will put him up there. And like I said, we talked about during the pre-race there, with the way the tires wear at this racetrack, we saw it in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series that on Monday night that the tires weren't all that big of a factor. Yes, if they run 30, 40 laps, you got to come in and get tires. But a short run like this, it's only going to take, as long as they can maintain on that bottom and keep that car on the low side, they're going to be just fine unless somebody, obviously gets a little aggressive and pushes them out of the way. But I really don't think the 4 tires is going to make that big of an issue here early on, especially we only had 10 green flag laps on them.
So the lights go off on top of the American Childhood Cancer Organization. Ford Mustang GT pace car. Wave by goes on a bye. We'll double them up. We'll put 15 laps to bed this time. Just 185 laps to go. Coming off of our first caution flag on the evening, we look for the American Ethanol green flag coming into turns 3 and 4. The 51 waits to the restart box. Your control car for the first re-green on the evening. Green flag flies back at it in Martinsville. Good jump at the outside for Ray Alfala. He'll actually try to make it side by side for the race lead down to turn number 1. His ultimate goal, I would think he needed to get in line, and he'll do it there. He slots in at a quarter number 2. Well, side by side behind them. First battle P4. It's Gorlinski on the inside, and outside Logan Clampett on the tires, trying to do some digging around the outside of Mitchell Hunt. Nothing happened that time before.
Yeah, you look at the number 80 machine of Gorlinski. He had a tough start there. Probably spun the tires. It checked up that bottom line tremendously. It gave the guys like Logan Clampett and Matt Busa the opportunity now to get up there in the top 5. And you got Mitchell Hunt there with the 2 tires, so a little bit of a strategy. Logan Clampett, though, he's got to be careful on that outside. He's going to burn his tires up pretty quickly if he stays out there too long.
The 9 of Austin Jones, he's letting Gorlinski know, let's get going, man. You can see the damage on the back. 1 hit, 2 hits that time, but at turn number 2, trying to get physical. Gorlinski not going to get it up, though, and that's about the 3rd time the 9's giving him a shot that we all know if you don't react the first couple times, you might just find yourself at the outside fence. That's called Morse code here at Martinsville Speedway, so we'll see how that goes as they continue to battle. The 9 forces up the inside. He'll get the spot finally at a quarter number 2 at lap 19. He'll drive it in hard, and Gorlinski finally gets ushered, we'll say, up to the outside of the racetrack. That's one of 2 battles inside the top 10. Logan Clampett, the fresh tires, still stubborn out the outside. Mitchell Hunt struggling to hang on to the inside position, and as well is a battle for 3rd.
As it's still side by side down the back straightaway, Mitchell Hunt still working to the inside of the 44 of Clampett as Clampett gets that drive off the corner. He's looking to the outside of Ray Alfala for the 2nd spot. Alfala pinned to the bottom there as Clampett really using up his tires thus far in the early going on this run. Already 20 laps in the books here from Martinsville, and Clampett still trying to put the power down on the outside.
And I said, well, the outside probably not going to be a passing lane tonight. There's a little bit of speed up there, more so later on. But again, the 44, the fresh tires, and combined with the fact that he's had a fast race car, P3 in practice, qualified on pole, he's putting it to the 2-time NASCAR Peak Entry Series champion, and he'll get him down to turn number 3. Logan Clampett, 2 spots on the outside. Hunt and then Alfala. He'll move back to P2, and now he tries to chase down Justin Fuller as the race leader. The 44 has the tire advantage in that matchup as well.
That he has the tire advantage, and that's the only reason I think that he's able to make that outside line work here. Another 5 or 10 laps on that outside lane, he definitely would have had some issues there. So Logan Clampett trying to use that fresh tire advantage for himself, but you can see Justin Fuller going to let him go right there as they head back into turn number 1. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Doesn't want a back bumper like Gorlinski has now as he's falling back through the field now. quite a bit here since this restart
Yeah, he
here.
just got turned into turn number 3 about half a lap ago. He didn't get dumped per se, but he was rubbing a little bit with the one. He kind of got spit down to the pit lane entry, turned it back around, kept going. That really just added insult to injury, Justin, because he was already slotting deep through the pack.
Yeah, he was already sliding. He had a little bit of damage there. Just couldn't quite get the forward bite that he needed up out of the corner, and just ended up spinning around backwards on the pit road. Don't know if he's going to get a penalty from that, but he spun it around, got back underway. No caution flag, but everybody's single file, but Mitchell Hunt, the 71. He's looking inside, outside on that Ray Alfala machine in the 27. And those two trying to beat and bang a little bit here at Martinsville. And here comes a bunch of folks right there. Matt Busa working on the outside. Conti trying to shove his way up into the battle. He's got a nose on Mitchell Hunt now out of 4. Conti on the move in the early going.
If there's any question if this is one of the most competitive leagues on the sim, look at the top 8 or so right now. Logan Clampett at P1, Justin Fuller P2, Alfala is in 3rd, Mitchell Hunt 4th, Michael Conti now up to P5 after starting back in 12th, and Matt Busa fighting to hold off the nod of Austin Jones. I've been liking what Mitchell Hunt's been doing the last couple of laps, Andy. He saw the number 44 pass Ray Alfala on the outside. Okay, let's try that. Didn't really work, but he's not shying off at the back of the 27 as Alfala bottles that time, and he'll force it into the inside in turn number 3. Mitchell Hunt is not afraid. He wants P3, and he'll get him that time at a turn 4. Advantage at the start-finish line in favor of the 71 Chevrolet. He gets clear. Conti cycles in to fill the gap on the bottom. Move the Peak Chevy also to 4th.
Yeah, that was a good move right there. A solid move by Mitchell Hunt there. Had the opening, saw it, went for it. Ray Alfala, smart move, veteran move. Just move to the outside, let these guys go. He's got a spot behind Busa once he can get back in line here. So he'll lose a couple spots, but it's still overall staying out with these tires. It definitely was a good call for him. Got him out of some of that traffic that he was in. Now he can clear him. Now he can fall back behind Matt Busa into that number 6 spot here. So for Ray Alfala, still a good move. And Justin Fuller with the no tires, he's still hanging on to that 2nd spot right now. He's got a lot of fast cars right behind him now. Mitchell Hunt, first one in line, and then you got Michael Conti and Matt Busa all trying to get that 2nd spot.
And big problems down on the front straightaway. It's a parking lot just coming out of turn number 4. Problems at multiple cars involved at lap number 29. It all started up with, I see the 38 machine around. At least one of the drivers involved is Justin Weaver, and he even wasn't at the beginning of it all. Major problems for Josh Parker, the number 18 Chevrolet. Came down a little bit on the 14 on the bottom, and Matthew Moose was not about to get out of the gas, Justin, and turned him around that time coming off the corner, and once he bounced up into the outside wall, the track was blocked, and you can toss about 10 cars into that mess.
Easily. I mean, it was just tough luck for Parker there. He got into the 40 at Jordy Lopez, actually just had nowhere to go. Glazer involved, Weaver, Lewis, O'Rourke going to get a little bit of piece of that, along with the 8 of Adam Gilliland, Blackford, Woods, the rest of the gang back there in the back of the pack, all collecting a big piece of damage there as they're coming around there. Gilliland and O'Rourke somehow just barely made it through that as Blackford and everybody else goes right down the pipe, but late into the going, the 52 machine of Matt Chafe just really clobbers the 18 of Josh Parker along. Also see the Williams machine involved as well. Several cars, heavy damage on that, and we're going to take a big chunk of the field out of the going here in the early running.
And everybody down pit road that time. Logan Clampett, first driver out on 4 tires, but the number 1 machine strategy call by Trey Edson running at that time in P11. He'll go to the race lead off of the pit lane, but not everybody. Again, in agreement that pit service was necessary. The number 8 gverser.com of Adam Gilliland, his Chevrolet, stays out to the front of the field to pick up the bonus point that time by John Gorlinski. Also stayed out. The number 80, though, has to come down to the pit lane. He's gotten pretty major rear end damage. Gilliland now with that bonus point in the back pocket. He'll come down to the pit lane, and we'll see what Trey Edson can do at the front of the field, because so far 4 tires, it wasn't blowing these guys out of the water, Andy, the last time, but I know the tire differential going to be a little bit bigger on this cycle of pit stops. But Trey Edson, who started in 14th position as well, rolling the dice just a little bit in search of some track position.
Yeah, definitely. He probably
At
saw
the
that
50s.
71 of Mitchell Hunt and how well he was able to do. So he figured, hey, let me try the 2 tires and see what I can do out here up front with the clean air.
Behind him, you will find Logan Clampett, first driver on 4 tires. Justin Fuller. Strategy, I think, by far and large, Justin Rose now works for him because stayed out. Now he's back on cycle with everybody else, and he started P10. He's in 3rd right now, and that car looked pretty good up front. Logan Clampett, no question about it, the 44 was better than him on that last run. Now that he's equal tires with the 44 as well, he'll see what he can do. Lights go off for the pace car. If he can keep that 44 on the outside, he might even be able to get a shot at the race lead.
Yeah, you're going to have to watch for tire spin, though, from the one of Trey Edson if you're Justin Fuller on the inside. If you can time it just right, you might be able to sneak to the inside, maybe be a little bit aggressive, maybe a 3-wide move from the 51 of Justin Fuller, but maybe a little too early in the going as the pace car dives to the safety of pit road. Field going to be in the hands of Trey Edson and Logan Clampett through turns 3 and 4.
The number 1 machine going to bring us back to the green flag into turn 4. Back and away we go under the flag stand, and it's a drag race to turn number 1. Edson on the inside, but Clampett on the outside. He's a fan of that top lane. He's got the 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles and powers at a turn 2, and you could have moved the number 44 Chevrolet back to the race lead, and he'll leave Edson behind in P2. That's Fuller's problem now. The 51 to 34 of Matt Bussa. They race side by side for 3rd. Behind them, the 5 of Conti. The 7 would have been Hunt race side by side also for P5.
Wow, that was just a bold move by that 44 Logan Clampett. And he's been the only one that we could see do that here so far tonight. You see Matt Bussa on the outside struggling to get around Justin Fuller, and it's not going to happen here as Justin Fuller in that 51 is going to maintain that bottom lane. But, man, he's been the only one that's been able to do that. And he did it right, though. That first lap, just go, and able to get on the brakes hard, get back on the throttle hard to get off the corner exit. And Logan Clampett, definitely the class of the field so far here tonight.
The deadlock still on each other's door behind in a battle for 3rd. It looked like Justin Fuller was about to get the upper hand on a Matt Bussa, but 34, he's not giving up. He's keeping a nose on the right rear. There's an opening on the inside now if he wants to take it, but he'd rather fight for it. And you see Hunt and Conti still doing the exact same thing. 71 on the bottom, the 5 on the top side, and it looks like Fuller may now be getting clear of Matt Bussa. This time at a turn number 1, that battle rages on for 3rd. Conti on the outside got around Mitchell Hunt, and Ray Alfala actually behind them to 27. He's trying to elect to use the outside lane. I'm seeing a lot more topside action this early, Justin, than I think I was expecting.
Yeah, most definitely. Although the Matt Bussa machine, he's trying like Dickens to get around the 51 of Fuller. They're still wheel to wheel, almost banging doors in turns 1 and 2. Michael Conti right there in the Peak Chevrolet. He's sticking his nose in there, and he's getting impatient. One of these guys is probably going to get moved here if Conti can't get around these guys in a quick manner, because he certainly has a fast race car, and he gives a shot to the 51 of Justin Fuller off of turn 4.
He elects to choose the inside. Let's hope it works for him. Before you know it, that 71 or even Alfala's 27. He might decide to go topside for Bussa. A little bit of a push that time at a 2. It'll give Justin Fuller the run he needs to take sole possession of the number 3 spot for the time being. Another shot. He's like, let's go. What are you waiting for? So Fuller gets up to 3rd. Conti down the inside of Matt Bussa. He's going to try to get through to the number 4 position. He'll do it easily that time in turns 1 and 2. 34 has a little bit of a nose at the right rear quarter panel, and I don't expect him to be able to really hang on there for much more than the cycle here through turns 3 and 4. Not going to be able to hang on. So relegate Bussa back to P5. He still runs in front of the 7 with Mitchell Hunt, who has stayed in P6 through all of that. He's got Ray Alfala climbed up his back decklet also. But watch out for Michael Conti. He's shown that he's not afraid to get physical.
No, he's definitely not, but he's doing it at the right spot. I mean, where he's getting them, and he's hitting them square in the bumper, so it's not getting them loose. It's just giving them a shot saying, hey, I'm here, get out of my way, or get going, either one. And you can see Conti definitely doing it the right way, though. I mean, any further to the left side of that rear bumper of Justin Fuller, and he would have sent him spinning. So just a smart move right there. Yes, I can give him a shot. It's square on the bumper. It's not going to knock him loose. It's just going to let him know I'm here. So Michael Conti doing a great job with that here. Pretty much the only guy so far that's really not been afraid to give anyone a shot here.
And how about Trey Edson, the number 1 machine? Well, he's still in P2, the Beechcraft Chevrolet, 1 second behind Logan Clampett. Now that they've somewhat sorted things out for third on the back, at least they're single file, they might start to catch the number 1 machine. But I think these tires, obviously fresh just for the first 1, 2, 3 laps, you could really put down some really good lap times because they were side by side for a lot of it. The huge tire advantage is no longer there. The 1 machine, he's going to have to work if he wants to stay in P2. They're slowly inching closer and closer. But I think that worked out very well as well for the number 1 Trey Edson, who started in 14th and runs in the number 2 spot right now. Single file all the way through the top 10, all the way through the top 15. But there's plenty of action with everybody climbing right up each other's back axles and kind of assisting them through the quarter, we'll say. These guys not afraid to use the bumper early here at Martinsville, quarter distance the next time around.
As we work at that quarter flank hole next time around, lap 49 going into Bucks 50 going on the board this time by. Going to take a look at that 3rd spot once again. Justin Fuller, Michael Conti in the 4th spot, trying to beat all over the back deck lid of Fuller, and Conti right there and trying to maybe put a shot on him. And Fuller certainly the slower car in this battle. Conti much quicker, but you have to wonder as Clampett starts to edge away from the field ever so slightly, how long do you wait if you're Michael Conti before you just give the chrome horn once again to the 51 of Fuller and say, excuse me, pardon me, coming through?
He's giving him a couple of warning shots. He's not hitting him to move him yet. He's hitting him to let him know he's there. If Michael Conti wants you to get out of his way, he's going to be able to move you out of the way. I can promise you that much. And the number 5 machine showing some restraint at the moment. They are still catching up to Edson too, so it'll be interesting when Fuller gets to the number 1 machine, if he's still in front of the number 5, if he could execute a pass for the number 2 spot overall before losing his spot, or if that number 5 machine can kind of take advantage of Fuller paying too much attention to the one in front, sneak down to the inside. You saw he peaked at the bottom that time. It was only half a car length, but Conti didn't need much more than that to force the issue. They still run, though, 3 and 4 on the track at the moment. Almost 2 seconds behind Logan Clampett. The 44 machine taking over this race early and absolutely the best car on the racetrack.
Yeah, he has been. He showed that being 3rd fastest in practice, then getting the pole here for qualifying tonight. And then once he's got there, once he's got up to the front, he's lost the position a couple times. Once when he came down pit road, and then another time on the second go around, taking 4 tires both times. But for him, it's proved to be the call to make. 4 tires and fuel. I don't think you'll see him stray from that at all here tonight, because even those guys that decided not to take tires or to take 2, they've all felt the wrath of that 44 machine. He's still been able to get around him. As you see a battle now for that 3rd spot. We're looking back from Trey Edson there, and you can see Michael Conti making his way finally around Justin Fuller. Now he can work his way up to Trey Edson in that 1 machine as you see him close it in on the back bumper as they head back to turn 3.
Justin Fuller's style is to not let somebody go, but if he did, I think he did be in a better spot than where he is now. Hunt up the inside, the 71 to 51. They make contact in the center of 3 and 4. Fuller's in defense. A lot of beating and banging back in the pack for the number 5 spot. With 71 going to win that one. Not much resistance on behalf of Trey Edson. Michael Conti will now move into the number 2 position. Matt Busa going to move up the inside. The 71 got a shot. Hunt's going to get moved up the hill by the 51 of Justin Fuller. I told you they were beating and banging, and that's what you call payback. Move the NOS Energy Toyota back into the number 5 position, it looks like. And now Alfala breaking him up for the moment, giving that 71 of Hunt some time to cool down. That one far from over as the Alfala Tech Ford wants in on the fun.
Yeah, but I don't think Mitchell Hunt's going to wait too long. He wants to get back in the party. He's all over the back deck lid of Ray Alfala. Alfala, in the meantime, trying to look ahead to the 51 of Fuller. He's right there, but it's a 3-way battle for that 5th spot. Fuller still has it, but I tell you right now, Hunt is driving like a man possessed. Them brake rotors are glowing along as Alfala pulls wheel to wheel with the 51 of Fuller for that 5th spot out of turn number 4. It's going to be Fuller, but the edge given to Alfala as Fuller trying to shut the door once again. He squeezes him into turn 1.
not giving each other any more room than necessary to fit the car there, and maybe that's even cutting it close a little bit. But the 51 machine of Justin Fuller, 27 of Alfala. He'll break sideways into turn 3. A good save, not once, but twice. But he's going to lose the speed coming off of the corner. He'll drive it in hard. Can he stay on the inside of the 51? He's got a news. What a dive by Alfala. He was about 10 miles an hour off pace to turn 1, and somehow he's keeping there, and there's the payback, the 71. He'll move Fuller back up the hill now. Goodbye to the 51. Fuller will now slide back to P7. Hunt wants to fight Alfala for P5. And that's one apiece, boys, but I don't think they're going to call it even at that. We'll go side by side now for P5. Mitchell Hunt wants to get away now.
That was a great crossover move by Mitchell Hunt to get around next to Ray Alfala now off of turn number 4. And payback, you called it right just there. But I like the payback that we've seen. It hasn't been a flat-out dump, spin the guy off. It's been a push, get him loose, get him out up the racetrack, and then drive right around him. So you got to give these guys a lot of credit for that. And even though you may be that guy that got that shot, you got to be thankful that you're not spun around looking the other direction, that you're able to at least keep it going straight. So both of those guys, tip of the hat to both of them for the way that they have done their payback or the way that they have gotten around each other.
So far.
They'll give them the shot, but they won't. They didn't spin them out.
I would argue that if that wasn't anybody else but Justin Fuller, that car might have ended up at the outside wall. The 51 really had to wheel it to keep it under control. Hunt going to win the battle against Alfala, move the 71 up to P5, drop the 27 down to the number 6 position. And again, all of this started when that 51 finally got up and out of the way after Conti got to his inside. The 71 Justin pushed up just a little bit. They rubbed a little bit down in turns 3 and 4, so the 51 felt wronged, so he gave him the payback that he felt necessary. Well, then the 71 felt wrong, so he gave him the payback he felt necessary. It never ends. Nobody ever feels like, okay, we're even. If the 51's still there and he's near that 71 machine, you can promise that they're not necessarily going to take each other out, but they're not going to give each other any more room than they need to for the rest of the race, because race car drivers, they don't forget, especially at a track like Martinsville.
Alfala in the 27 going to get it loose there a little bit, but I'm looking back towards a little bit around Megpack in the field right there. The 60 of Byron Daly, the 8 of Adam Gilliland. Those two have been trading paint a little bit here in the back of the pack, and Gilliland, to his credit, did his best not to give the 60 of Daly a shot, but those two racing hard in the middle of the pack, and that's going to be for P17 as we look back up towards the front of the field. Logan Clampett out by a cool 1 3/4 seconds over the 5 of Michael Conti, although Conti really starting to reel him in here as we start to put the laps in the books here. 67 in the books already of 200 here from Martinsville.
Well, we're going to put 68 to the books as well at that time, and well, the gap of 1.7 is a fair distance between he and Michael Conti. That gap is closing a little bit by a little bit. The last lap, it was just 1/100th of a second, but that gap was in excess of 2 seconds when the number 5 took over the number 2 spot. So that battle for the race lead is far from over. With 70 laps in the books for Martinsville Speedway, we'll take this opportunity to take our first caution flag on the evening. We'll step away, come right back to the action from Ridgeway, Virginia in just a moment. You're watching LSRTV's coverage of the ASCORS ProGeek Consulted Cup Series Virginia 200 live on iRacing Live. Logan Clampett dominating so far at lap number 70.
Ready, aim, fire.
We're back live at the Martinsville Speedway for round number 6 on the 2016 ASCORS ProGeek Consulted Cup Series, live at LSRTV and iRacing live to number 44 of Logan Clampett, just now 24 laps away from taking the cross flag point in the Virginia 200, and he's starting to open the gap back up on Michael Conti. Talked a little bit about the peak antifreeze. Chevrolet was closing it in, picked off about half a second at about 10 laps before we stepped away. The gap now going the other direction, just about back at a 2-second differential between the 44 and the 5. Matt Busa all alone, the 34 Toyota right now riding in third. Mitchell Hunt is P4. Trey Edson inside of the top 5 still. That's going to be a good battle here in a moment because he's got the 27 Ford right up his back bumper.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good battle here as they've gotten some separation now between them and the 51 of Justin Fuller. He has finally started to fall off here. The tire's definitely starting to take into effect. It looks like some more action going on as well around the 15th spot there. And an item of Austin Jones just got moved by the 8 of Adam Gilliland. That is for position for that 15th position, or 14th, I should say, as Adam Gilliland now still trying to work his way up through. We had mentioned a while ago he was trying to get around Byron Daly. Well, he did that, and now he's gotten back around Austin Jones. So move Adam Gilliland now up to the 14th spot from the 36th starting spot. So still a pretty good night overall for that 8 car, but he's still got a lot of work to do.
It's funny because I was looking back at the pack there, and I was looking at a couple of spots, including a battle right now between the 97 and the 83. Alex Monteferranti, Adam Benefield at a battle for P8, got a little bit close for comfort. We'll say that time in turn 4, and we were talking about the battle inside the top 5, and I said, I wonder how physical these guys are going to be back in the pack. I clicked on the number 8, saw him move the 9 out of the way, so that tells you the answer. Doesn't matter if it's inside the top 5 or inside the top 25, you want that spot, and Benefield wants P8. Monteferranti has had a spectacular night, and Justin, we haven't talked about him a lot, which means he's doing good at Martinsville. He's going under the radar, P21 to P8. I'm not sure how much longer he'll be able to hold on to that spot, though, because Adam Benefield is itching to take it away from him.
Yeah, and he's doing his damnedest to try to hold on to that spot in the 83 of Adam Benefield, just doing everything he can to get to that back bumper and try to put a little bit of a power move, chrome horn move as well on that. Some of these guys are going to be hitting each other as much as they try to hit the Virginia lottery around here. And, you know, some of these guys are like a bull in a china shop sometimes. We'll see what happens as the laps get moving here as we're getting closer and closer towards halfway. Benefield's still right there, the gap about a car length at the start-finish line, the 97 of Alex Monteferranti, doing a very good job of trying to keep his machine just out in front of the 83 of Adam Benefield.
If you're a fan of sim racing, you know a lot of these names. We've seen a lot of them here on LSRTV in the past. Chase Cabry, another one of them, the number 2-4 just behind this battle, and he wants to be a part of it as well. He just about got into the 83 the last time around the number 2 started, P20. He rides into P10. He's got a front row seat. Benefield on the left rear. That time gave him just a little bit of a love tap. Didn't quite move him out of the way quite yet, but these 3 cars are on top of each other. You're going to have to wait until next time. Caution flag flies just shy of what would the halfway point be, and Austin Jones goes around. We just said that the 8 moved him out of the way. This time, the number 90 moved him out of the way. Greg Spears, a little bit of an assist that time, and he had a turn number 2. Single car accident. The caution flag is out.
Yeah, it looked like the 9 was already loose getting into the corner and just nowhere for the 90 to go right there, except right into the back bumper. And Greg Spears give him a little shot. Didn't take much, got him spun around, but we'll get another caution out here and just shy of that halfway point, and probably much needed for some of these drivers.
They're going to be headed pit side, and I would expect everybody to agree that, okay, longest run on the night so far in the green flying conditions. Let's come down and get some Goodyear Eagles. Logan Clampett, the first driver in from the top spot. He does have a little bit of left rear damage. It's part of Martinsville racing. Funny, at Darlington, you expect some damage on the right side of the car. Here, a lot of guys with damage on the left side of the car because they're beating and banging on each other's door. But the 44, Justin, back in again to the number 1 pit stall. He's yet to win a race, though, off of the pit lane.
Yeah, but you got to wonder, though, he may have a little bit of optional damages. The right side's already up on that machine. Going to see how quick the Connie machine gets around because he was in his pit stall first. a little bit further back along pit road. And that number 1 pit stall going to be the advantage, as Clampett's going to beat Conti off of pit road. But now that we got an even matchup, Clampett showing that he's had the best car all night long, just absolutely wiping the floor with everybody at this stage of the race. Michael Conti is going to do his best, and we'll see what happens here on the restart, because Conti with fresh tires can be a good thing. And I tell you what, Clamp Nation's got to be slightly concerned a little bit with Conti on fresh tires right on his outside.
It'll be a fun battle down into turn number 1 on the restart. Logan Clampett, though, trying to deliver a little bit of a message here tonight. He'll be making his first career NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series start next Tuesday. Hasn't been in action for the opening 4 rounds of competition. So he's here tonight with a bunch of the drivers that he'll be going head-to-head against, and he's kind of showing his marbles now and saying, let's go. And I look forward to seeing that battle as well. But Logan Clampett for sure has the stranglehold on this so far, Andy. How many times, though, have we seen somebody dominate in the first half of Martinsville and that not mean anything come to the end? I'd say more than most times.
Yeah, we saw it last Monday night, to be quite frank about it. We saw a bunch of guys up front leading the way in that race on Monday, and then obviously if you were watching, you saw that wreck that happened in turn number 3, and that changed everything from that point on. But no, it's definitely that way. Obviously, late in the going, that's when you're going to see guys start taking gambles, no tires, 2 tires, staying out, and that, especially when you get the later part of the race, that's when you start seeing those guys really just drive the wheels off of these cars, and that's when you'll see some guys take some maybe some slight advantages. But if we get a long green flag run towards the end, though, that's exactly something that's going to help that 44 out, especially how he's been all night long. On the get-go, he's definitely had a short-run car and a long-run car.
Let's go back out around the Martinsville Speedway. 90 laps down, 110 laps to go in the ProGeek Cup Virginia. 200 pace car down on the inside of the racetrack. We sit 10 rows deep, 20 cars still on the lead lap. It'll be Clampett and Conti, 1 and 2. Green flag flies back underway from Ridgeway, Virginia, at a great jump by that 44. He'll lead and single file down to turn number 1. Conti's got an opportunity to get single file for P2. He'll do so, slotting in front of Matt Busa. The 34 has been about P3 all night long, Justin, and he has not been able to get himself single file on a restart. He was side by side for 7 laps last time, and this time he's back at it again with Mitchell Hunt in a battle for third.
This time he's on the inside row compared to the last restart, as he's trying to get around the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. Has a nose out in front, but Hunt's going to battle back, and he's going to drive it in deep, trying to get that run like Logan Clampett did on that last restart, as I believe the 34 of Boost is going to get that edge once again. He's going to power down, and he might actually clear the 71 of Mitchell Hunt, and that's going to open the door for the 1 of Trey Edson, the 51 of Justin Fuller, and a host of cars on that inside line as the 71 of Mitchell Hunt battles to hold off the rest of the gang, as he now slips to the inside, leaving Al Falla all alone on the outside.
Yeah, that number 27 machine hasn't had an easy night either. And Trey Edson, the gamble worked for him, I'll say. The 2 tires, again, he went from P13 to the front. He's back on even tires, and he's running P6 right now. So it's a good strategy call by the number 1 machine. It's not going to be comfortable, though, albeit with the 27 to 51 to 83 all lined up behind. But Logan Clampett starting to stretch out the muscles a little bit. 0.4 of a second in front of Michael Conti at attempting to pull away. We're single file, nose to tail, 1 through 10. First battle for P11, Tyler Dalton on the inside. How about the 37 of Brian Blackford coming up the outside? First time we've been talking about the 37 of Ford so far tonight. He's gone P22 to P12, make it 11th. Got a nose at the start-finish time, but the battle is far from over.
Yeah, Brian Blackford, honestly, we haven't been talking much about him in the last few weeks at all either. He's just having some bad racing luck. If you're tuning into these races week in and week out, first couple of races of the season, he was right there with his teammate Ray Alfalla, but since then it's just been struggling. Qualifying hasn't been the best for him as well either, so he hasn't been getting those finishes that he's wants. So it's good to see him up here battling just outside the top 10 now. He started in the 22nd spot, so not the best of qualifying effort again for him here, but definitely one of the tracks that he can excel at, and he's trying to get it done. He's just stuck on the outside right now as Byron Daly now looks to his inside.
Peeking to the bottom is that number 60, Byron Daly, who started inside of the top 10, qualified P9. He's battling for 13th at the moment. Contact on the nose of the 37. He'll lock him up, not once, not twice. He'll hang on. It's Blackford turned by the 90 into the outside wall. Caution flag will fly once again. and it started with the 37 and the 60, and it looked like they might have been able to hang on to it, Justin, but that 60 just ran Blackford out of room, and unfortunately the 37, while trying to get out of the way, got turned from behind by that number 90 machine coming up the back in Greg Spears.
Yeah, just nowhere to go for the 37 of Brian Blackford, and not really Byron Daly's fault for taking him up the track a little bit, just doing everything he could do to hold on to that race car. I mean, we're talking a lot of these guys have been wheelmen for just about as long as they've been on iRacing, so these guys can certainly know how to wheel the cars. Leaders coming down on pit road already after just a couple of laps. Interesting move here is a couple drivers have stayed out here at the halfway mark here, lap 100 on the board. It's going to be the one of Trey Edson going to take that cross flags once we sort everything out. But most of the front half of the field come down pit road, and I think that's a rather interesting call, seeing as how we were on pit road about 10 15 laps ago.
Dollar bonus for leading at the halfway point, but the number 1 goes to P1. Logan Clampett, first driver out on 4 tires. We saw the number 97 machine of Alex Monteferranti come down. I believe he only took 2 right side tires when he was down in his stall, and it'll once again shuffle up the running order. Cross flags the last time around. Trey Edson back in front. So just as I had concluded, Andy, that his strategy call worked, he got the job done. He's inside the top 5. He stays out. I'm not sure, though, I could really say that the guys who stayed out are the ones taking a gamble. It might almost be the guys coming down to the pit lane, because, again, we were just down there. I think we've kind of agreed that Logan Clampett isn't going to be coming down pit road unless he's taking 4 tires, because he's got the best race car. He's only going to fall to P6, but it'd be interesting if that's deep enough to make him have to hold things off, because he'll be on the outside of row number 3. Not the best spot to be in when you come in for a restart, for sure.
No, but we saw him restart on that outside lane, and he was able to pass cars one after another there on that restart where he fell back. So he's still got the opportunity. He'll probably get around a few of these guys, but really this is the point of the race where the track position really starts to come into effect. And, a couple of these cars, Justin Fuller, he's shown he's had speed along with Trey Edson, and so is Chase Cabre. He just hasn't been up towards the front to really show off what he can do. We know he's a great short track racer, so he's got his opportunity now to restart on the inside lane here on the bottom, and so this will give him an interesting opportunity on this restart to be up front. Byron Daly as well stayed out, but look at this on the start here. Looks like the 1's going to take the outside lane here. Maybe a little bit of strategy between the 1 and the 51 so that both of them will be on the bottom lane.
We will see Edson on the outside of row number 1. It'll be Justin Fuller inside for P2, and then Chase Cabre stays out to go to 3rd. Byron Daly stays out for 4th. Alex Monteferranti, 2 tires, P5. Logan Clampett spearheads the charge, 4 tires, P6 on back. Coming out of turn number 4, back under green flag conditions at Martinsville. Not a good jump by the 51. In fact, they will end up single file for P1 and P2. It's Edson Fuller into turn 2, now down the back straightaway. Battle behind for 3rd. Cabre sideways digging, trying to defend against that 60 Byron Daly. 2 wide, 3 rows deep from there on back.
And as they work side by side off of turn number 4, going to be the 2 of Chase Cabre getting a shot from the 97 of Alex Monteferranti, the 60 of Byron Daly after that interesting ride. He's going to hold tight, and he's going to try to power around the outside of Cabre. He's going to get it done. The 44 of Clampett working to the outside of the 2 of Cabre. He's going to get that done. Bring along the 5 of Michael Conti. Everybody scrambling for position off of turn 4.
And it's hard once you have a little bit of a bobble to just kind of settle things down and take your run through the quarter, because it's a lot of chaos back there, and the 2 machine is all over the racetrack. He'll get tapped that time at a quarter number 2, all the way to the inside wall, 4 wide to turn 3. Cabre is going to be able to hang on. The guy trying to pick up all the spots is Alex Monteferranti on the inside of the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. Hunt fresher tires, top side might just have the upper hand in a battle that's going to be for P7. Are you kidding? What a save by those guys in turn number 2. Somehow they didn't junk them all, and now a battle a little bit more northbound. How about Logan Clampett and Michael Conti, the 44, the 5, doing a battle for P3, and it looks like the 5 almost has the preferred lane on the bottom, but Clampett is like the outside, Andy. Let's see if he can deal with them.
Yeah, the only thing he's going to be dealing with, though, is if Michael Conti can get to the inside of Justin Fuller here off of turn number 4, and if he does, that's going to trap that 44 machine to the outside. The 51 now all the way up to against the wall. Here comes the 5 now looking to the inside. He's got it. That's going to trap that 44 to the outside. He's going to turn right in front of Matt Busa. He's going to follow now. Michael Conti up to the the third spot, make that the second spot now as he battles the 51 of Justin Fuller. Now they set their sights on Trey Edson for the lead.
Clampett was hoping that 5 would get stuck behind Fuller on the outside. It didn't work. And thankfully, if he waited about 1 or 2 more seconds, Busa would have been there, but he slotted to the inside, and now he goes to P3, Busa to P4. They discard on the outside of the racetrack. Number 51 adjusted Fuller, who now falls to the number 5 spot and battle for the race lead. Lap 110, Michael Conti taking a look to the inside on Trey Edson. He'll drive it in hard to turn number 1. No doubt about it. Move the number 5 Pecan and Free Chevrolet to the point, lap 111.
And as the 44 and Logan Clampett going to work to the inside of 1 of Trey Edson, 34 of Matt Busa right there looking to the inside. Not going to quite get there. Now sticks his nose in there. We'll see if Trey gives way going into turn 1 and 2, and indeed he does. That's going to open the door now for the P3 position as Matt Busa going to go right back where he's been all race long, and Trey Edson going to go from 1st to 4th in just one fell swoop. The 51 of Justin Fuller right behind him as well, trying to hold off the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. And Hunt, to his credit, he's wheeling that car as he's almost into the wall. A little bit loose for that machine as they get down into turns 1 and 2.
And the 71, the 51, remember these two, they're back at it, and it's a battle for the number 5 spot. The 71 of Hunt, he got to the back bumper. You're on board, and you're taking a look at this, and it's far from over. You see, they both have a little bit of damage. Well, that's from each other. Let's see what happens. It's a battle for 5th. 2 seconds behind Michael Conti, who leads in front of Logan Clampett. If you swap out those 2 names, we're basically back in a running order that we've been for a majority of the evening here. But Hunt gave him a shot to the left rear. Fuller wheeling it to hang on. The 51 has a lot of short track experience here on the sim. It's been coming into play tonight. To the inside goes the 71, and Fuller will give him the lane. We'll be side by side in turn 2.
Yeah, he didn't push the issue that time. He probably knew at that point if he got another shot from that 71 to Mitchell Hunt, it probably was going to put him into the wall. So Justin Fuller takes a smart move right there, lets him go, falls back in line. So move that 71. Mitchell Hunt now up to the 5th spot. Is a pretty good battle going on just behind these guys as well. Alex Monteferranti, we talked about him having a solid race here tonight. He's got Adam Gilliland all the way from the 36th starting spot up to 8th now, and he's all over that back bumper now, looking to give him a shot here off of turn number 4, trying to work his way up through more spots here. The 8, Adam Gilliland, making his charge back up to the front.
And now that everybody has kind of stabilized just a little bit off of the restart, let's take a quick peek at our iRacing midway race break through 117 laps of 200. Michael Conti leads the way to Logan Clampett, P2, Matt Busa, Trey Edson, and Mitchell Hunt. Inside of the top 5, Justin Fuller now back in 6th, Alex Monteferranti 7th. From 36th to 8th and still digging is Adam Gilliland. Behind him is Adam Benefield, P9, and Ray Alfala is 10th.
11th right now is at 60 of Byron Daly. Tyler Dalton in the 19 car is running 12th. 13th goes to E.J. O'Rourke. Matthew Moose all the way up to the 14th spot. 15th right now is Brian Blackford. 16th is Austin Jones. Doy Woods runs 17th. 18th is Chase Cabry. And the 19th spot is Greg Spears, while John Wilco rounds out the top 20.
Last car on the lead lap, the 80 of John Gorlinski, 21st. Next car a lap down, the 86 of Joseph Gulota. The 17 of Jesse Kovacs is in 23rd. Scott Mitten, 24th. Brad Patton, 25th. Matthew Quick, 26th, 27th. Multiple laps down, some 33 laps. It's going to be the Justin Weaver machine. Parker Klugerman, 49 laps down in 28th. 29th to the 20th, Chad Coleman. And Bentley Glazer in 30th.
31st position, and all these drivers out of the race at this point. Alan Lewis, 32nd, Jordy Lopez Jr., Matthew Chafin, 33rd. 34th is R.J. Williams, Josh Parker, P35, and then Corbin Hemstreet, Brad Newman in 36th and 37th. Run out your midway race break at the halfway point. This has been your iRacing.com midway race leaderboard. For more information on the wide variety of racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com and sign up today. Conti in front, and this time he's the fastest driver on track. Logan Clampett now 1.2 seconds off of the race lead. For the first time tonight, looks like Superman may have found his kryptonite. We'll take this opportunity, step away, but we'll go LSRTV non-stop so you don't miss a moment of any of the action. We start counting up, and we're no longer counting there. We're inside of the halfway point at the Martinsville Speedway, and it's Conti in front through halfway.
The 2016 iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series is all about change. New teams, new drivers, new tracks, even a new logo. And oh yeah, there's a brand new car. After 5 years of competition, we say goodbye to the Williams FW31 and we say hello to the McLaren MP430. But this isn't just a brand new car, it's a whole new ballgame. And with it, we bring new excitement, new strategies, new technology. For example, energy recovery and drag reduction systems. There's a new way of thinking about racing, and for all the drivers participating, it's back to the drawing board, wiping the slate clean in the ever-consuming pursuit of perfection. One little slip-up, one wrong move on track, one poor strategy call, and it's over. That's the difference between coming up short and becoming champion, and being $10,000 richer to boot. So yeah, change is in the air, but we're going to start getting answers on the 27th of February as the 7th year of iRacing World Championship competition kicks off. And you won't miss a thing, with every single race live on iRacing Live, coverage brought to you by Racebot TV. So join us fortnightly from 1:30 p.m. GMT.
Back live from the Martinsville Speedway, you're watching the ASCORS ProGeek Consulted Cup Series live on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Lap number 130 will now drop to the wayside. Michael Conti is your race leader now as we close in on the final run through to the checkered flag. And he's 2.1 seconds in front of the guy that's been in control for the majority of the night, the 44 of Logan Clampett. We're happy to have you with us live at LSRTV. Evan Pusoko, Andy Kessler, Justin Rose now topside with you with Cisco Scaramuza downstairs. And this is something that I don't think I was really expecting, Andy. We saw Conti, he was good, P2. We know Michael Conti knows his way around this sim, but it looked like Logan Clampett really had a handle on things. The 5 and that 44, they found themselves a little bit deeper in the pack after some pit strategy at the cross flag point. Oh, how about a little bit more strategy? Caution flag flies. Lap 131. They all scatter down in turn 2. It's Justin Fuller. Problems for the number 51 Toyota, and it was not without a little bit of help. Looks like the 60 and him had a little bit of a disagreement.
Well, it's not making friends out on the racetrack, I'll tell you that right now. Is the 51, he's had it in with the 71 of Mitchell Hunt, and now this time with Byron Daly as well. So definitely not making any friends there for the 51 machines. We head back down pit road once again. Leaders heading that way, and we'll see if Michael Conti can assume the race lead once again. And he's had a good run there. Once he was able to get around Logan Clampett, you talked about it, he just set sail from there, had over a 2-second lead there just before this caution flag. So we'll see how that 5 car can do after the pit stop, see if he can get out, or if that first pit stall is going to be the key for Logan Clampett.
We will find out, and we're expecting a 4-tire service for all of your drivers at the front of the field, because we'll go back to the green flag conditions with just a little bit under 165 laps to go. Not even close. Michael Conti, who has been exceptional on the pit lane, will beat Logan Clampett out for the number 1 and 2 positions. Matt Busa will retain 3rd. Mitchell Hunt hangs on to P4. But problems for, it looks like Joseph Galota, the number 86 machine. He's got to hit on the brakes and check back down, come back down pit road for service. So it'll shuffle up a little bit of the running order. Gorlinski stayed out 1 additional time by. He in that number 80, along with a couple of other guys who are off in the lead lap. That still sits 22 cars strong. Those that are more heavily damaged have been doing that for a majority of the evening, Justin. Waiting for a yellow, coming down, getting service, get back out, come down, get more service. Really just trying to see how many parts of that race car car they can put back on and try to salvage a decent result here as a couple more drivers continue to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, a couple of these guys really coming down, just trying to get repairs made to those machines just so that they can handle a little bit better. If you're down a little bit on power, you're not going to spin the tires as much coming out of the corner. That might give you somewhat of an advantage. So that would explain why some of these guys stay out a little bit and then race down pit road to try to not lose much more than a lap or so. So really for guys like the 80 of John Gorlinski, I mean, it might play out because he could find himself up close to the top 10 if he nails the damage fixes just right on that machine. As we should come around this time by, I think, to get one to go. A couple cars going to take the wave around. I see the 52 is going to get a wave around, along with possibly, I think that's the 3 machine also going to get the wave around. So the lights are indeed off on the American Childhood Cancer Organization pace car. We're going to get ready to fire these cars off one more time here, and I think we might have come down pit road for the last time, especially the way it's been staying green. But as far as some of these guys, if you're on like 4th or 5th on back, you might want to come down pit road if we catch a yellow here in about 10 to 15 laps.
And we all know that the way these races tend to go as the pace car dives down out of the way is this might be our last opportunity to go green for a little bit because we always tend to see a little bit of yellow drama late in these events. Going to be back at a green flag conditions as we complete lap 137 and absolutely gone. Michael Conti, he set sail to turn number 1. Aggressive entry to the inside of the racetrack for Logan Clamp, and he'll get the HPM machine entry into the number 2 position. Leaves the battle behind for 3rd. Mitchell Hunt gets that spot over Matt Busa, and now Busa has to deal with Ray Alfala, the 27. Fell as deep as P10 at halfway, trying to get himself back towards the front inside the top 5 once again.
Yeah, he's in a pretty good battle right there with Matt Busa on the outside lane, though not preferably where he wants to be at the moment. Looks like he might be able to slip it down in line right there, and he does, right in front of Adam Gilliland in that 8 machine as they race their way back to turn number 3. The one of Trey Edson maybe gave it a little shot there to Adam Gilliland, but everybody keeps it straight, and they race their way single file back to turn 1.
Single file for the time being. Behind them, a battle sees Adam Benefiel on the outside of the racetrack. The Roll Speed Dynamics, I Can't Designs entry, battling with the 97 on the inside. That's Alex Monteferranti, who continues his good charge forward. You see the 41 machine, EJ O'Rourke. He also finds himself stuck on the outside of the racetrack. One name I want to mention again, Adam Gilliland. We've talked with him about a couple of times tonight. Well, he started P36. He's in 6th at the moment. He's discarded 29 drivers so far. He doesn't plan on stopping one spot away from getting inside the top 5 for the first time.
One driver making a 3-wide move here just a lap ago. The 2 of Chase Cabry made a 2-for-1 swap going into the turn 1 and 2. Got to the inside of the 37 of Brian Blackford and the 14 of Matthew Moose. He's got a sight set on the 41 of EJ O'Rourke, and he's driving rather aggressively because the Cabry machine taking no prisoners here as we get towards the late going here. We are getting down to that all-important 50 to go where everybody's just going to throw caution to the wind, do what you got to do. There is no more give and take. It's all grab and go from there on out, and Cabry seems to want to start the party about 10 laps early because he's all over the back deck, let O'Rourke out of turn 2.
That's a good fight, and it's going on 3+ seconds off of the race lead, and O'Rourke didn't have enough space that time to shut the door. Chase Cabry going to get through the 41. He'll come off the fence. Close call with Brian Blackford. The 37 has already been in an accident tonight, and he's looking all right, all things considered, in P12, but almost got jumped again. Close call, and now the 14 going to do battle with the 41. That's Matthew Moose, who started P31 on the inside. That is the only side-by-side battle right now, top 15.
That is the only side-by-side battle, and it might not be for long here as the 14 of Matthew Moose now with the advantage. Trouble behind him, the 51, Justin Fuller, around again, and we're going to have caution on the speedway once again, so Justin Fuller, the trouble continues now for that 51 machine.
I'll tell you what, when it rains, it pours, and Justin Fuller, that one again was not unassisted. The 86 machine on the outside of the racetrack, Joseph Galota, in a little bit aggressive and turned the number 51 around, and that did him in. So Justin Fuller, second time he goes around tonight, and for a driver that was inside the top 5 for a lot of this race, he's starting to feel the ill effects of Martinsville Speedway, and back down the pit lane we come. Ray Alfala will stay out. Almost everybody else top 10 down, all behind Michael Conti.
Conti going to come down and nail his pit stall. He needs a money stop right here because he's done the same thing. He arcs that nose just a little bit higher. That's something I've noticed that's really helped him get in and off of pit road really quick. Conti got the pit system figured out. His left side's already up on that machine. Very quick pit stop for that Peak Chevrolet crew. He's already down and away. A couple drivers taking 2 tires. That's the 60 of Byron Daly. He's going to get off of pit road. The 71 of Mitchell Hunt might have taken 2 tires, but it's going to be the 60 of Byron Daly. That's going to put Conti on the inside on the restart. So that actually Matt Busa going to take 2 tires as well. So wow, Busa, Conti all going to be up on the high side. Mitchell Hunt going to be the guy, be the first of those leaders coming down. He's going to pit on the inside. Clampett, Conti, Busa, all going to restart on the outside.
And that 27 machine who's out in front is going to have to get a little bit creative to make sure the 27 can fit from the inside to the outside wall. The number 27 machine, we talked about him running up through the field, picking away spots early, was relegated to 9th position, I believe it was, at the cross flag point. Was picking his way back through, but 2-time has decided staying out going to be the best option for him. He'll be joined on the front row by Matt Busa. Gorlinski stayed out. He also came down the pit lane the most recent time by, as he did to get some additional service, and as well doing so that he can get a little bit deeper in the pack and not really in the fray, especially with the damage and I'm sure ill-handling race car. The next restart going to bring us ever so closer to 3/4 distance. In fact, it might be right on the money with 150 down and 50 to go if the lights on top of the pace car go out this time by. And I'll make a brazen prediction, Andy Kessler, and I'll say this is not our final caution flag.
That is a very bold statement right there, but no, I think you're absolutely right. This late in the race, and you get cautions. We always say cautions breed cautions. Well, they definitely do this point of the race because everybody tries that much harder to get around the guys in front of them, trying to get that every spot they possibly can for the points. And you see guys like that'll be aggressive. I see one of them back there who's led the majority of this race here tonight. Logan Clampett, stuck on the outside lane, going to be in that 3rd row, and he's going to be a guy that's going to be on the charge here. He thinks he should be up front leading this thing right now, so we'll see what he can do on this restart.
And he'll be back in P6. And before the caution, the race leader was Michael Conti. He's on the outside of row 2 in P4. Green flag waves once again. Just 50 laps to go at Martinsville Speedway. Alfala going to lead us into turn number 1. Busa going to be able to maintain P2. Conti on the outside. They're all sideways down the back. He'll get to number 3. Thinks about going to the inside. He'll wait at least one more time through. He'll push the 34 right up into the 27. Michael Conti wants the race lead.
And as is everybody scrambling for position, the 5 of Michael Conti going to be to the inside of the Logan Clampett machine. Busa going to look to the outside for the lead. Alfala very loose off of turn 2. Conti to the inside for P2. He's right there. He's in the thick of things. It's a 3-way battle for the lead off of turn 4.
Problem for Logan Clampett is, again, he gets the pick set on him for the 2nd time in a row. He likes the outside. Busa a little bit slower than the 5 on the outside of the racetrack. Means the 44 has to give up that battle with the number 5, get in line, and now they'll both get around the number 34. A shot to the 5 is a shot to the 27. They're not going to be any gentler than they were earlier on. It's time to put the elbows up and get after it. It is Ray Alfala, Michael Conti, Logan Clampett, 1, 2, and 3 at lap 154. When does the 5 make the move to the inside in turn number 3? Battle for the race lead. You'll see the battle side by side for P2 behind. A little bit of a rub coming off the corner. Conti back to the point.
Yeah, back to the point now. Alfala doing everything he can to hang on there with the older tires. It's not going to be enough, though. Michael Conti clears him off of turn 2. Now brings Logan Clampett now to the inside. They'll battle wheel to wheel for that 2nd spot. It's side by side just behind him as well. But Michael Conti with the clean air now, he's gone. Logan Clampett now, he's clear. Here comes Mitchell Hunt now trying to get around Ray Alfala into turn 1.
The longer that battle went on between the 44 and the 27, the better news it was for Conti. But a big slide in turn 4 for Ray Alfala allowed Clampett to get to P2. In fact, it allowed Mitchell Hunt to win that fight also, so move the HPM 71 into 3rd. Logan Clampett cannot let Michael Conti get away like he was last time. He gained 2 100ths the last time by the start-finish line. If that 5 gets half a second away, this race might be over with. If he's there, take advantage of it now. That 44, he's not saving any tires because he knows it might be his last best shot. The gap between P1 and P2, just 1 car length.
That gap's going to close a little bit. It's going to be inside at 0.2 of a second. Logan Clampett is there. He's sniffing the back bumper, the Peak Chevrolet of Michael Conti. It's a battle for the lead on the back straightaway, inside of a car length. Call it half a car length now as they work through turns 3 and 4. Clampett's right there, knocking on the door. Almost 40 laps to go here from Martinsville.
44 machine. The only time he hasn't been the fastest driver on track was the last run, where Michael Conti asserted the dominance. The number 5 now the car to beat with the 44, showing some of that speed that we saw a little bit earlier on. He just doesn't have the speed to get to him quite yet. He's stuck at about a car length and a half back. In fact, the 5 a lot better coming off the corner, Andy, because that 44 is really charging it hard in, trying to make up some of that distance.
Yeah, he's definitely overdriving and coming into the corner, and that's what's going to hurt him here on the longer run as we count the laps down here. As the lap traffic now starting to come into the picture as well. That is the 50 machine right there just in front of these two, and they'll try to get their way around him as he goes to the high side now. Allows the leaders down to the bottom still, just a car length now off turn 2.
It's going to affect him, though. That 44 couldn't swing all the way up against the outside wall. Michael Conti could. So those lap cars going to stay as high as they can and try to get out of the way. It's still going to cost the 44 a little bit of time. Martinsville always a track known for having those lap machines inadvertently become a factor late in these races.
It certainly very well could. The gap is opening up, though, 2 car lengths, and Conti starting to get a little bit of breathing room between himself and Clampett's just doing the best he can to close that gap back down. It was about 2.5 car lengths at the start stripe the last time around. That gap's opening up 0.355, the gap between Conti and Clampett, as the gap really starting to opening up. If you're Clampett, do you really save and hope for lap traffic, or do you just give it all and use up what you have? Because I don't know, because the way things are going, he's going to have a little bit of time, because there's about a half a track lead over any cars that could be lap traffic as we come around to put about 37 to go on the board.
A majority of the 19 drivers that are still on the lead lap are still within 6 seconds of them. That goes all the way through P15, where you'll find Adam Benefield continuing to run after he started a little bit further northbound in P8. He's trying to get back up there, but he's relegated deep in traffic. Clampett's doing a good job, though, not able to battle for the race lead quite yet, but he's not letting him get away. He has to keep touch. I said maybe about half a second is at the point that you don't want it to reach, Andy. It's getting a lot closer. The 5 a lot lower in the corner than that 44 machine. Clampett almost trying to diamond it a little bit, trying to search and find some speed. So far, he hasn't been successful because Conti's starting to pick up those couple hundreds advantage every single time.
Yeah, being the guy in the lead at this point in the race, you can really run your own speed, run your own laps. That guy behind you is going to be the one that's forcing the issue, trying to make up time. So he can just not worry about what's behind him, concentrate on his lap, hit his marks, get into his rhythm, and he'll be fine. And that 44 is the one that's going to be pushing the issue, because right now he can't run his line. He's got to run a little bit harder. He's got to try something different, whether it's getting in harder or coming off the corner. He's got to figure something out, trying to close that gap, and that's what's going to cause him to lose time and to burn off some of his tires. So Michael Conti right now in the driver's seat, 2 car lengths into 1.
In fact, this is the most spread out we've seen everybody inside of the top 10 since, I think, the opening half of this race. Caution flying going to come, though. We'll group them back up at least once more. Problems 4, survey says. Justin Fuller, the number 51 NOS Energy Toyota, around in corner number 4. And third time in a row, it's with assistance. This time, the 91 decided to give him a little bit of a shot from the rear, and he gets turned by Doy Woods.
Yeah, no luck for that NOS Energy Toyota, and just was maybe slow, and Doy Woods just got tired of it, trying to get around the lap car, and just no luck whatsoever for Justin Fuller. From the penthouse to the outhouse is the saying, and he's found about the bottom of that outhouse, the way things have gone here the last 50 laps or so.
So with that, we come back down to the pit lane one more time as we cross the start-finish line to take 31 laps to go. Michael Conti brings us in. He heads into the number 12 pit stall just past the start-finish line. Right side tires going to go up for service. Left sides as well. It's going to be 4 tires, gas, and go for the 5 Chevrolet. We'll get a small challenge from behind, a two-tire call maybe by the 37. Michael Conti rounding out the corner. He will once again retain the race lead, followed by Logan Clampett. So the saga continues, and we'll go at it again at least one more time. We'll drop the green inside of 30 laps to go. Michael Conti scored as your race leader at the Martinsville Speedway, and now a change of fate. The 5 slow inside of 3 and 4. Andy Kessler caught with a speeding penalty.
Yeah, speeding penalty coming off of pit road, and that's going to cost him because now it's going to send him back to the tail end of the longest line, and that's not what the 5 needed right there. Had one of the fastest cars all night long, worked his way from 12th all the way to the lead and hasn't looked back since, but that's going to put Logan Clampett. That might be the break that he needed. That's going to put Logan Clampett back at the point.
That's the mistake that can't happen. And it'll tell you that even as a NASCAR PK Info Series champion, Justin, it happens to everybody. But that right there, that cost Michael Conti, I think, a win. He can't get it now. I think he's out of the race unless he wants to stay out if we get another yellow. But I think that move right there effectively costs him a shot at a checkered flag.
Oh, no doubt. And if you're Michael Conti, I believe you're going to kick yourself because you hit that last timing sector too fast in the last sector on pit road. So Conti had it sewn up, and seeing that the 44 Logan Clampett was right there door to door with him, just gave it a little extra gas, and that's the reason why he's going to restart tail end of the longest line. And man, you want to talk about another penthouse to the outhouse story. He'd be hard pressed to get back up inside the top 10 when it's all said and done.
That being said, as somebody's fate can change that quickly, we still don't know what's going to happen inside of these final 30 laps, but we gear up for another restart. We'll take 27 laps to go. The door still wide open for a couple more caution flags. Logan Clampett, though, back where he feels he belongs. The 44 Chevrolet in front. Busa P2, Hunt in third, and Blackford and Edson now round out your top 5. But a quarter number 4, green flag flies once again, and a great start for both drivers on the front row. Busa going to challenge side by side for the point.
He is off of turn number 2 here, side by side. Clampett, though, too much power there. It's going to pull the advantage into turn number 3. Busa still not going to pull down behind him just quite yet. Going to battle it side by side off of turn number 4. Still the advantage to Clampett now is the third place driver, Mitchell Hunt now. He's secured that spot. Trey Edson now to 4th, side-by-side battle for the 5th spot. Logan Clampett, though, still having a hard time clearing the 34, finally does.
34 gives up the spot. He wanted to battle on the outside, but if he stayed up there any longer, Mitchell Hunt was going to be able to get to the bottom of him, and then really P2 wasn't going to be an option. He peeked to the inside. Nothing happened. This time down to turn number 1. The battle looks more like a battle for second than for the lead. Mitchell Hunt is the closer to the 34, really, than Busa is to Clampett. Caution flag behind them. Problems in turn number 2. And I believe it may be the number 9 of Austin Jones around, this time off the nose of the 91 of Woods.
A lot of mixing it up here at the back of the pack, and the 91 of Doy Woods just being basically like a bull in a china shop here in the late going, just turns the 9 of Austin Jones, and another restart coming up. If you're Matt Busa, you got to be thanking your lucky stars, because as far as I was concerned, that was race over, because Clampett was pulling away and starting to do so like a rocket ship.
And Clampett's like, let us go, man. He wants to take off at the front of the field. And, if you're somebody deep in the pack like a Mike Conti, you have to hope, let's keep getting yellows. And you hope that the guys come down to the pit lane and that maybe you can stay out and get something out of it. Like I said, we're still far from over at Martinsville Speedway. The next restart will come inside of the final 20 laps in the Virginia 200. So we'll take this opportunity at a slow pace to step away and take our final LSRTV quick commercial break. It will go LSRTV nonstop as always inside of the final half of this race. Logan Clampett leads so far. You're watching the ASCORS ProGeek Consulted Cup Series live on iRacing Live and on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
The 2016 iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series is all about change. New teams, new drivers, new tracks, even a new logo. And oh yeah, there's a brand new car. After 5 years of competition, we say goodbye to the Williams FW31, and we say hello to the McLaren MP430. But this isn't just a brand new car, it's a whole new ballgame. And with it, we bring new excitement, new strategies, new technology. For example, energy recovery and drag reduction systems. There's a new way of thinking about racing, and for all the drivers participating, it's back to the drawing board, wiping the slate clean in the ever-consuming pursuit of perfection. One little slip-up, one wrong move on track, one poor strategy call, and it's over. That's the difference between coming up short and becoming champion, and being $10,000 richer to boot. So yeah, changes in the air, but we're going to start getting answers on the 27th of February as the 7th year of iRacing World Championship competition kicks off. And you won't miss a thing, with every single race live on iRacing Live, coverage brought to you by Racebot TV. So join us fortnightly from 1:30 p.m. GMT.
Pace car down and away with 19 laps to go at Martinsville Speedway. Logan Clampitt going to go toe-to-toe with Matt Busa on the front row. Green flag waves once again and back at it in the Virginia 200, part of the 2016 ASCORS ProGeek Consulting Cup Series. And this one is far from over, but a good push that time at a 2. Clampitt will take over the race lead. Mitchell Hunt, he'll throw it in hard on the inside. He wants the battle for second.
He wants to get there, can't quite get there just as of yet. Matt Busa doing a great job on that outside lane. He's going to still maintain side-by-side with Logan Clampitt for that top spot off of turn number 2. Clampitt not able to clear him, finally does right there. He's going to pull up, now pull back down because Matt Busa looks to the inside. And that's going to put Mitchell Hunt now in the 3rd spot. And Trey Edson now 4th spot. Top 4, they're single file. Adam Gilliland a little bit loose off the corner. He's got Ray Alfalo to his outside. That is the battle for 5th.
A lot of it loose that time. He was just about nose first into the inside of fence at a turn number 4. That's the battle for the final spot inside of the top 5. The 8 going to drive it in hard to get on the 27, but push up. Gilliland, the handling starting to go away. Alfalo going to win that battle as the 8 again squirrely at a turn number 4. So Gilliland has to wait and he'll ride a P6. And now he's got a mere full of Chase Cabry behind him at a battle that's just over a second behind Logan Clampitt. Clampitt a car length in front of Busa.
And Busa very, very loose off of turn 4. That's going to give the big edge to Logan Clampitt. He's going to open up about a half-second lead over Matt Busa. Mitchell Hunt right there, about 2 car lengths off of Busa. Everybody single file through about the entire top 10 from there on back. That's where things really start to get dicey as we're inside of 15 to go. Going to be 14 to go this time by for Logan Clampitt. He's starting to check out here in the late going. He does not want to see another caution as Busa does not have what it takes to get back up to that 44.
The laps continue to tick away with just 14 left to go, and there's a lot of guys with some good speed out there, and we're going to see a lot of good fights inside the top 5, top 10 through to the checkered flag, Andy. But I'm not seeing anybody that can do anything quite yet with Logan Clampitt, and they're getting physical deeper in the pack as well. 41-9, they do battle, but Logan Clampitt, I think, has got a stranglehold on this one. He's just too good at the moment.
Yeah, he's too good at the moment right now. Some contact in the back as we had to see, take a look at Michael Conti still trying to come up through the field, and him along with Alex Monteferrante, those guys all battling hard for position. The 14, Matthew Moose, also involved with that. Some slight contact. Usually O'Rourke will fall back a little bit in that 41 machine. Austin Jones getting a little loose as well. So action all around this racetrack is everybody trying to get what they can here in the late going.
11 laps to go now. Almost at the point when we get 5 to go where a caution flag would end this race and we would finish at a slow to pace. So the clock is ticking. If Matt Busa, Mitchell Hunt want to do anything with Logan Clampitt in front of the field. Trey Edson, you remember he made that strategy call early. Since then, he's been a staple inside the top 5. He runs 4th right now. Alfala is in 5th in a good battle between Chase Cabry and Byron Daly. 7th and 8th position, 2.5 seconds off of the top spot is the only real battle are right now inside of the top 10, and a battle just outside the top 10 includes a couple of big names, Alex Monteferrati, the 5 of Michael Conti. They're mixing it up a little bit. Byron, the 83 machine, how about that one? Adam Benefield, he wants to get on to 37. Behind him, Tyler Dalton. He'll get turned in turn number 4. It looks like as well, Michael Conti going to give in the boot. Caution flag will fly again, and that is one final restart still left in him, and it started with the number 83 of Adam Benefield. He gave a shot to the 37 of Blackford behind Tim. A couple more guys getting after it. The number 19 machine getting into it with the number 97. He went around, Conti went around. That's a lot of guys getting into each other, and that just means that Logan Clampett has to do one more restart.
He's got one more restart left in him. We'll see what happens. Pit road's open. Couple guys looking like they were going to come down, deciding not to. Obviously, probably about the wrong time to do that. You're not going to make up a lot of track position on the racetrack this late in the going. So the top guys, the top 5, stay out, and the rest of the top 10 also stay out as well. So problems right there for that 5. Michael Conti was working his way back up through the field there, running about the 13th spot. He was involved in that, got spun by the 19 of Tyler Dalton as well. So that puts Michael Conti back right now, scored in the 19th position. So once it goes bad, it gets real bad for a lot of these drivers, and we've seen that all night.
I agree with the decision that everybody should stay out on track, Justin, because I don't know we're going to get more than a lap in here. I think track position is going to be the key inside of 5 laps to go. If we get a yellow, the race is over. We're looking for the white flag to race it out, but I think there's no reason to give up track position at this point.
No, none whatsoever. But what I'm wondering, basically, who's going to be the guy that's going to come up from the inside row? If you're from basically Mitchell Hunt on back, you got to be wondering, do you want to use the chrome horn? But we will be inside of about 3 laps to go or so when we take the green flag. And Mitchell Hunt, he's been no stranger to using the chrome horn all night long. He certainly could do it, but guys, if you're Hunt, do you dare take a shot at Clampett and try to sneak 3 wide for the victory?
We wait to see just how many laps we'll have left to do battle here at Martinsville. Lights this time by at 5 laps to go. Will stay on. If they go off the next time, it will be 3 laps remaining. And I think for Logan Clampett, Andy, you want the inside, and you just want to drive it down to turn 1 as hard as you can.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is just all about what it is, and stick it down in there, make sure it sticks. For guys like Mitchell Hunt, this is his opportunity to, like Justin said, to try to, push the issue, maybe try to go 3 wide, try to force Matt Busa way high so it can just battle it out with Logan Clampett at the end. But quite honestly, it all dictates on this restart here how quickly that 44 can get out ahead of these guys, and we'll see here on this restart next time by as the lights go out.
The lights go out. We'll have lap 198, 199, and 200 still to complete. The question is, Justin, could Logan Clampett hang on for just one more?
Well, if he gets a good restart like he has before and drives away from the 34 and the 71, it'll be no doubt about it. But if you're the 71 of Mitchell Hunt, you need the restart of your life and a good bump and run to have a shot at victory. Boost is going to need a miracle too.
The pace car ducks down for the final time. They know what is required of them. Final time tonight at Martinsville. 3 laps to go. Logan Clampett looking to get into ASCORS victory lane. Green flag flies, and it'll be a dead heat down to turn number 1. Busa half a car length advantage in the center. The 44, they'll be side by side. Caution flag will wave, and I think Matt Busa is going to be given the checkered flag as they go nose to nose in turn number 2. Big problems behind your leaders, and Matt Busa drove that car in through the halfway point. If the yellow came out halfway down the back straightaway, Matt Busa would have been cleared by Logan Clampett, but he had a nose in front at the yellow, and somehow Logan Clampett will be denied victory lane.
He got that one stolen right out from under his nose right there. Nothing he did wrong at all, just Matt Busa on the outside just whaled it right in there into the corner, and it stuck for him. He was able to keep a nose out in front, but it was just enough for when that caution came out, and he played it just right there, and you know Logan Clampett's kicking himself at that point.
He's not happy. And I really don't think he can be upset with himself because Busa drove it in so hard to turn number 1, Justin. I don't think he was going to be able to get back to the gas to get off the corner, but the caution came in the center of 1 and 2. Somehow that's just the time that it goes at, and caution flag along with the checker, Matt Busa is going to win tonight at Martinsville Speedway, taking home the win in the ASCORS ProGeek Consulting Cup Series Virginia 200. Logan Clamp, but I think that 44 machine is going to have nightmares tonight.
Oh, no doubt. You got to wonder what might have been. I mean, he had to be a little bit more aggressive. And how about Busa? I said he needed a miracle. Well, he got one, boys. And he's going to park himself in Gatorade Victory Lane. Congrats to Matt Busa. And he really got a feel for Logan Clampett because, man, he had this thing just about sewn up and just about was not quite enough for him.
If that caution came a second earlier, it would be Logan Clampett at Victory Lane. If the caution flag came a second later, it would be Logan Clampett at Victory Lane. But a man burning it down on the front straightaway, the driver of the 34, Matt Busa, going to come at it tonight victorious as he takes home the checkered flag. And just because the checker is out, Andy, doesn't mean the action's over. Everybody unhappy with each other down pit side.
Yeah, we get some action going on down there with the 86 of Joseph Gulota and the 9 of Austin Jones. So I'm not sure if some on-track things had spilled over onto pit road, but those two are looking to take each other out on pit road. So action, the race may be over, but as Matt Busa is doing some reverse burnout here down the front straightaway, quite interesting right there. But yeah, it's one of those places you get so frustrated with the way things are going that, the race may be over, but you start taking it out on the pit road there at the end.
Luckily, I don't think we saw any of that spill over during the race, but definitely emotions at an all-time high here as the checkered flag flies. We're not done tonight from Ridgeway, Virginia. We'll take a quick opportunity and step away. When we come back, though, we'll be back with the LSRTV post-race show, and we'll talk with your top finishers and get you set for the next race in the road for the ASCORS ProGeek Consulting Cup Series Championship. It'll be right here on LSRTV next Sunday night from the Texas Motor Speedway. So we'll be back in a moment, but Matt Busa headed towards Victory Lane, somehow steals it from right under the nose of Logan Clampett. He's your winner in tonight's Virginia 200.
Ready, aim, fire.
Back live for the post-race show from the virtual Martinsville Speedway. You're watching LSRTV's continuing coverage of the ASCORS ProGeek Consulting Cup Series live on iRacing Live. And now 6 races to the books of 12 in the 2016 Season 1 Championship. Plenty more still to come throughout the 2016 calendar after tonight. But we're halfway point in segment number 1. And somehow Matt Busa ends up on top. We'll talk with him in a moment. Let's take a quick look, though, at your ProGeek Consulting LLC full race results for round number 6. It's the 34 on top. Somehow, some way, a heartbreaker, Logan Clampett, only going to be given a P2 result out of this one. He'll walk home with 43 points or so, and not much more than that. Mitchell Hunt going to be coming away with a P3. Trey Edson at home in P4, and a great result for Adam Gilliland. Was finally able to make a late race pass at Ray Alfala and finish top 5 after starting on the outside of row 18 at the drop of the green flag. So Alfala drops to P6, 7th for Byron Daly. Chase Cabry, a good result in P8. Adam Benefiel, a 9th, and rounding out your top 10 was Brian Blackford.
Matthew Moose will come home in the 11th spot. Good finish for him, starting from the 31st position. Alex Monteferrante, a good night overall. He'll come home in the 12th spot. 13th goes to Austin Jones. Justin Fuller will rebound after some late race spins. He will finish 14th. 15th goes to Joseph Gulata. Doy Woods will come home in the 16th spot. 17th goes to Greg Spears. E.J. O'Rourke finishes 18th. 19th to John Wilco. And Jesse Kovacs will round out the top 20.
21st to the 50th, Scott Mitten. Tyler Dalton, the last car on the lead lap in 22nd. 23rd, 2 laps down. The 5 of Michael Conti. 3, Brad Patton. 24th, 8 laps down. In 25th will be the 89 of Matthew Quick. The rest of the cars all out of the race. The 38 of Justin Weaver. 26th, 27th to the 80 of John Gorlinski. 20 to the Chad Coleman machine. And 29th to the Matthew Chafe machine in the 52. 07, Parker Kligerman, 131 laps down in 30th.
And in 31st position is Bentley Glazer. And again, everybody else from here on out, well out of tonight's competition. 32nd, Alan Lewis. Jordy Lopez Jr. in 33rd. 34th and 35th to R.J. Williams, Josh Barker. And then Corbin Hemstreet and Brad Newman come home 36th and 37th. That's a complete look at your ASCORS Consulted Cup Series full field rundown for round number 6. For more information, you can go to ASCORSRacing.com. And we're going to toss things now down, caught up in victory lane with tonight's winner. Somehow, someway, Matt Busa ends up on top of the pile. He takes home the checkered flag in the Virginia 200. Matt, I'll congratulate you, but I think you, much like everybody else, is kind of stunned how that one went down. 3 laps to go, coming to one final restart. You had a nose in front in turn 2. Yellow flag flies, and you get the checkered flag. Talk us about it.
Yeah, on my restart there, I knew since the restart line was right when the concrete ended and got a good jump there and clamp it. And I was hoping that they would wreck right away, so I drove it in really deep into one and washed up the track. If they didn't wreck, I would have lost the lead right there off of 2, but thankfully that gamble paid off and was ahead by probably 100th or so.
It was almost a direct nose-to-nose result between you two, and the lights did come back on top of the pace car. And, overlooked at 34 was for much of the night because we were talking a lot about Logan Clampett early. We talked a lot about Michael Conti towards the halfway point, and we said, it doesn't look like anybody else really has the speed to challenge the 44, but you got those late couple of restarts. Did you think that all the yellows at the end of the race maybe gave you an opportunity to kind of pick up on what that number 44 machine was doing, and then you put that into action there in that final restart? Because if that went green all the way, it looked like the 44 had you beat on a longer run.
Yeah, I think it would have been close if we did have any long runs at the end, but I did learn a couple things off of what he was doing in the center of the corner. It seems like he and Conti both washed up a little bit and got a straighter exit, as opposed to me in the beginning of the race. I just kept her right against the curb throughout the whole corner. So in NAS fixed races, me and Clampett were also really tight. And I think I learned a couple things throughout the past few races and got the job done.
You get the job done, and you're going to be the 3rd different driver to pick up a checkered flag so far in 2016. What does that win mean for you guys rolling forward?
Oh, it's definitely a big win for the point standings. I think Ray got 6th tonight or 5th, so that just gave me some points on him. And I believe with the drop week factored in, I'm not too far behind him, but we definitely need to get another win or 2 before the season's over to try to get Ray in points.
I'll tell you what, that race kept us on your toes, and you made it exciting and very surprising there at the end. You're the winner of the Virginia 200, the sponsors, the shout-outs, all the good people behind the scenes. Who do you want to give a call to?
Just like to thank Gale Force Racing, all the work we do on the MPAS side of things, and then you guys for broadcasting, and Brian Schoenberg for hosting the league.
Hey, again, congratulations to you. You win some, you lose some in an interesting fashion. Tonight, the luck was on your favor. Best of luck next week, and we'll hopefully talk with you on Sunday in Texas.
Thank you.
That is tonight's winner, Andy. And on the flip side of that, Logan Clampett ran a near-perfect race. Had it about, I think, 7 out of the last 8 restarts, and he probably would have won that battle if we went green for the final 3 laps of the race. But for some reason, it just was not meant to be, and he'll come home second. Tonight, you're down with the driver of the 44.
Yeah, I'm down here in pit road with driver of the 44, Logan Clampett. Logan, man, just so short. You had the car to dominate here early in the race. You lost the lead to Michael Conti about halfway point. It seemed at that point he had a faster race car than you. But then that race off of pit road, him trying to get everything he could, he ended up speeding. That gave you the advantage there in the last 50 or so laps there. And then, obviously, walk us through that final restart there. Just kind of, I guess the easy way to put it is it just plain sucks for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. I guess people don't know how to restart a race, so I got the win stolen from me. I barely got it. Might have been close to a tie, close to 1/1000s, I don't know, but he was ahead, barely, and I was going to get clear off of turn 4 probably, so it's definitely a disappointment.
I mean, you really can't fault yourself. Had a great race car. You would have probably, obviously, without that caution coming out when it did and at the exact point it did, you had the car to beat. You would have probably cleared him off of turn number 2. But, I mean, walk us through this one, having a dominating car like that. You haven't been in much of these races here so far this season. This will be only your 4th start in the 6 races. So you missed a couple, but you got to be pretty happy with the way you ran here at Martinsville.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my better tracks. That's why I raced tonight, and all I was going for was the win. And Conti was definitely faster, or even with me when he got out in front there. So, but the car was strong all night, and almost had it, but just a real disappointment, and got me too.
Well, a little bit of a disappointment, but I know you're trying to get yourself geared up for the Peak Series race here at Martinsville coming up. So with that said, though, sponsors, shout-out, second place finish for you tonight.
Shout out to High Performance Motorsports, and the guys that were kind of working with me that race, Joe Gulata, Matt Bosa, Alan Lewis, and Brad Patton, and Sim Racing Authority.
There you have it, our second place finisher on the night. Came up just a bit short, and you really have to take a picture of that one there. But Logan Clampett comes home second. Now I'm going to send it down, further down pit road. Mitchell Hunt is caught up with Justin.
Alongside the driver, the number 71 HPM car, Mitchell Hunt. You had a great view of that. I mean, you were no stranger to using the chrome horn to get yourself into position tonight. Tell us about that run to the finish there. Did you have anything for Clampett or Busa, or was it just merely just trying to ride and get what you can get?
I didn't really have anything for them. I am terrible at, I don't even know what I'm doing at Martinsville, so being able to run pretty much top 5 wherever it was all race was pretty good. And I think the second to last restart I had a chance. I was definitely going to use the bamper, and I was just waiting for the right time and just kind of waited too late for it. And then that last restart we had, I was going to try and move Clampett and Boost out of the way, but I spun the tires on the restart, so I didn't really get that chance.
I'm going to take you back earlier into the race. You had a whale of a battle with the 51 of Justin Fuller. Was that just pure aggression playing out on the racetrack, or was that just friendly joshing each other? Because you guys were moving each other for several laps in a row. Tell us about that battle earlier in the race.
I mean, I don't know. Guys race other guys differently, I guess, and he was tough to pass. Wasn't really kind of letting guys go on fresher tires, or, well, in my case. And we got by him one lap and just kind of received a huge bump from him. So it just kind of repaid the favor for him.
Limited is the words from that. And Mitch Hunt, congratulations to you on your podium finish there. You said you don't necessarily run that well at Martinsville, so it's great for you. Sponsors, shout-outs. Who makes it happen for you there on the 71?
I don't have any sponsors. I'm just a independent. doing all the broadcasts each and every week, and all the boys over at ASCORS for setting this all up.
That's the driver who finished third in the 71. That's Mitchell Hunt. And back up to you, Evan.
Definitely one of the more unique finishes that I think that we've seen. And we know that Martinsville is always going to be an interesting race. And we saw Martinsville tonight, and you heard it there from Mitchell Hunt because he was involved in a little bit of that action tonight, beating and banging Andy. We've seen a lot of strange finishes. I've seen people be ready to take a caution flag and a checkered flag and drop out of the sim. But I don't know if I've seen anything quite as heartbreaking as that one for Logan Clampett. What an emotional roller coaster. Dominant. Michael Conti took it over. That mistake by the number 5 almost handed it back to that 44. And then just the way that final one went down has just got a sting. That's a terrible way to lose it after being, I think, the best car hands down all night.
Yeah, and you know what he would have been if it stayed green. So it just, Matt Bussa said it flat out. He said, listen, I dove it in there as hard as I could, just hoping that these guys would wreck awfully quick, and they did, and it worked out for him in his favor. And he said, he basically said that was his only opportunity or only chance to have it happen was to get it that way. So he got it. He was out front when the caution lights came back on. So it is what it is. It is heartbreaking for Logan Clampett, especially when you have that fast of a race car out there, and you don't race all of these races. So every time you get a chance, and like he said, it's one of his favorite tracks. So obviously wanting to come out here, he was coming out here just for that win. He didn't get it. So I think any spot other than that top spot, he would have been disappointed. But to lose it this way just really is, it's got to be the worst.
And we get set and we do it again, Texas Motor Speedway, in 1 week's time. Saturday nights right here on LSRTV. Justin, before we step away, I'm curious what your thoughts are on that one, because it's going to be a race that we're going to be talking about, I think, for quite some time.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's one of the best cup races I've seen at Martinsville. Yeah, we had a little bit of yellow fever late in the going, but great racing. And I tell you what, I was thoroughly thrilled watching the 71 of Mitchell Hunt and the 51 of Justin Fuller going at it through the middle stages of the race. And that was very interesting to watch. And that's a nice little side story to the race. But as it goes, Evan, this race really going to go down in the ages as a thriller, because we didn't really know what was going to happen there on that last restart. I mean, we all assumed Clamp was going to get it, but in the end, it was Bussa stealing it on a hope and a wing and a prayer.
And if you want to see just how close that was, you can check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/LiveSimRacingTV. As well, if you enjoyed tonight, just tuned in for a first time and you want to see more, we're on air almost every single night of the week. You can go to LiveSimRacing.com, find an entire broadcast schedule there, and tune in with us here on LSRTV. But until next time, that wraps things up from the Martinsville Speedway. So until next time, on behalf of everybody at LSRTV LLC and for the broadcast team tonight, I'm Evan Pasoko. For Andy Kessler, Justin Rose now, and Cisco Scaramuza, I want to congratulate Matt Bussa as your winner today at Martinsville Speedway. We'll see you back at it next Saturday at the Great American Speedway in Texas.